Hello, welcome to the introduction on teamwork. Teamwork is our project management tool that we use to ensure that all of our projects stay on task, and it helps us ensure that we do not miss even the smallest of details on your project. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into how to use the teamwork platform. While it's really easy and intuitive to use, the walkthrough will kind of help you feel comfortable using teamwork, even if you're not a computer savvy individual. As I'm going through this tutorial, too, you'll also quite frequently hear me use the term project board, and a project board is kind of our internal lingo that we use for teamwork project management. So, first, let's talk about accessing teamwork. The quickest and easiest way to do that is literally just by going to the website. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab here. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go to our very individualized URL is just neongoldfish.teamwork.com. And if you go in there, you're going to see a login screen. And at this point, to get into Teamwork, all you have to do is use your login credentials to do that. Another way that you can use to access this login page to hit your project is by going to our homepage. And our homepage, if you click Contact, we actually have a client login button down here. If you click that client login button, it will bring you to that same login page. Another way you can do it is accessing it via the email notifications that you get. Now, to get these email notifications, we will have to create an account for you on Teamwork. When we create an account for you on Teamwork, you will receive an email, and we have gone ahead and done this here. We have a test email. The email will look very, very similar to this, and you can see that here that Mike McBrien has added you to collaborate on the Neon Goldfish project. And so if I go ahead and click on that, this is the email that you'll receive. This email, just like I said, the third way to access this is using the neongoldfish.teamwork.com URL here, or you can click from this email and that'll bring you straight to that login. Now, this email is very specific because it's your first welcome email, and it will actually have a link in here that will prompt you to create a password for your account. To do that, all we need to do is go in and click the big green Get Started button. You see that'll come up and say I put John Doe for the username in here. So it says, "Hi John, welcome to Neon Goldfish," and just asking us to set a password. Now you want to set a password that's a strong password for you here, something that you can remember easy, but is also not easily guessable. So I went ahead and done that here. Once I do this, it'll go ahead and load me into the Neon Goldfish project board, and it'll be specifically on your company. This company for this tutorial went ahead and called it tutorial company, and you can see that I am the only person in that. So this is the overview of Teamwork. So after you log in for the first time, this is what you will see. There's lots of different things here that we're going to go over, and we'll kind of go over each one individually. So the first thing we'll do is this page right here is our dashboard, and it kind of gives you some overviews of what is happening on your project right now, whether or not there are late tasks or things that haven't happened yet, the people who are involved in your project, and if there's any tasks that are due, past due, and where they're going with that. You can also see if you scroll down what people are assigned on this project. So the first thing I want to talk about is messages. Messages behave very similar to email, except for the fact that it will allow everyone on the project to view these messages, respond to these messages, and just get an overall good feel about the progress of the project and keep everyone in the loop. Now, to create a new message here, it's as simple as clicking adding a new message. This works really similar to email, and the fact that you'll put your message subject, test message is what I'll use for this one, as well as your message below. So whatever you want this message to be, you can type in here. Now, this message can be a combination of only text. You can add images. You can add links. So it works a little bit like a word editor would work. But it is indeed a message within the platform that will be emailed and notified to everyone in your project. So to type a new message, I'm going to say this is a test message. One of the things I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you can add a link. So I say check out Google. And I can go ahead and create a hyperlink. If I highlight something and I click this little insert link button, this insert link button will ask me, hey, where do you want this URL to go? You can type that URL in. I can click insert, and you can see what it'll do is it's actually highlighted that in the blue, indicating that that's a link. You also have the opportunity to put images within this message also. So I can say this is a neat goldfish. And to add a new image, I can click this insert image button. I can click or drop an image under here. If I go ahead and click this, it'll bring up a system prompt. I can select a goldfish, and you can see, cool, look, I have this sweet goldfish. This is actually a koi, but it'll work for goldfish. And you also have the option then to resize these images as you would like, so that it looks good within the flow of the message that you have here. If you're satisfied with your message and you're ready to go on, you can go ahead and select who should be notified that this message has been sent. This is super important for people to do because by default, people don't get email notifications that there's a new message within Teamwork. And we want people to make sure that your message is, that we're aware that your message is there and they're reading it. So to do that, all you need to do is click select people, and you have the option of, I can select John Doe as myself and say, hey, I want to send myself an email message about this message that I posted to Teamwork. And you can also select individual users from Neon Goldfish, for instance. Another option, and what most clients do and what we suggest that you do, is just go ahead and use this little all button next to each of the different project companies. If you click all, it'll select everyone within that project. And if I click update, what you see here is now saying all these people are going to be notified that this new message is through. You also have the option of attaching additional files to this message. Let's say you have a PDF document or something that's an image that doesn't really work well within the context of your message. You can click attach file, and you can add a file similar to before through a system prompt. You also can add a file by clicking and dragging from your desktop or another folder, and then it will upload here. You can also add multiple files in the same manner. So if I select multiple files, I can click and drag those, and you can see it's attached, or all three of these different attachments here, as well as this original attachment up here. And once you're satisfied with your message and your attachments, all you need to do is click post message. And when you click that post message button, what it will do is it will actually, and you see it says saving, it will actually not only post this message to the messages section of the project board, it will send out an email to everybody that you selected to notify via email. So if I go back to my email real quick, click inbox, you can see right here I have that message notification that someone posted a test message in the tutorial website project. If I click that, you can see here is a rendered version of that very exact message. Now, what's really cool about this is although I can click straight to this message by clicking this message link within the email, you can see I can bring it up and it loads within Teamwork. I also have the option to respond straight to this email. If I respond to any emails through the project board or through Teamwork, it will actually add my response within Teamwork. And so this is a great way to add a response to a message that you've got questions about, or a message that is directed to you, and say you're on the road and you want to access it via your phone, and you get your email and you say, hey, yes, that is right. I can go ahead and respond from within here. I can say, yeah, that is a cool goldfish. Now, if I go ahead and click send, what'll happen is as soon as that email is sent back out and it's received by the Teamwork system, it'll go ahead and post that message straight to the bottom of that message that's within here. And so I'm going to go back to my messages list. And you can see right now it says I actually have a single reply to this message already. So if I go ahead and click within here, you can see it right here at the bottom. It says that John Doe responded with, yes, that's a cool goldfish, but technically it's a koi. So it gives you a great feel and understanding for how that message process works. And as you add additional messages here in the messages index page, it'll list each individual message, the red status, and allow you to access those and respond to those accordingly. So next, I want to talk about tasks. Tasks are the main engine behind everything that we do on teamwork, and there's lots of different things involved in here. Many times we'll give our clients tasks that we need to do, but most of the tasks within teamwork are assigned to Neon Goldfish employees. And so what you will see here is kind of a standard setup that we use for many of our clients as far as tasks go. And so there's lots of different tasks here and different things, and they're assigned to different people within the project. Now, any tasks that are assigned to you directly will be highlighted in green. Sometimes a task will be assigned to multiple people. If you are one of those people, it will still be highlighted in green. Now, tasks work very similar to messages, except that they have a checkbox. And the checkbox lets us go in there and say, hey, I have completed this task. And then as well as a task also has the option of assigning a start date and a due date. And that's really important because it helps us keep your project on time. So we assign all these due dates, and you can see all these due dates. Some are set for due today. Some of them are set for a few weeks in advance. And it will give us a good flow and make sure that we're getting everything done on a timeline project basis. So any of these tasks, we'll go ahead and select this first one. I'm supposed to upload a digital copy of our company logo. Because that's assigned to me, I'll go ahead and click on that task to kind of get more information. You can see it gives information about the task here. But just like on messages, if you need to respond or get back to us for any reason, you can do that from within here. But in this case, let's say, hey, I can do this right now. I know where my digital copy of my company logo is. I'm going to go ahead and do this task. So I know that I need to upload an image. So it says, hey, I can attach a file straight to this task. Same general workflow as before. We have this logo here. Say, hey, I'm going to drag and drop to upload this logo straight within here. You can also use the system prompt to upload that if you choose. And then I click Save Changes. Immediately you say, hey, there's that logo. It's already attached. And I can say, sweet. I have uploaded the logo. And so I can do a quick brief message. I can, again, just like the messages, indicate who I want to notify about this. By default, it notifies whoever created the task. So you can generally leave that alone unless you want to add someone special to that task. So let's say I want to add John Doe as well. I can go ahead and click Update, and you can see John Doe is also going to be notified. If I click Save Comment, that comment immediately goes on that task. But what else is really nice about this is since it's a task and something that I was given to do, I can now check off that task. And checking off that task is as simple as clicking the little checkbox. Say, hey, that task is done. I can go on to my next list of tasks that I need to do. So if I go back to the task index page, you'll see here that that task is no longer here. And it'll indicate down here that there's actually one completed task. And I can expand that by clicking on that. Say, hey, I'm already done with that. I don't need to do anything else with it, but I still have 3 other things that I need to do. Now, through this project, you can go ahead and respond to all those tasks. You can check them off as you complete them, but do make sure you complete them before you check them off. The next thing that I want to talk about is related to tasks, and it's called the Gantt Chart. What's great about the Gantt chart, it kind of gives you an overview of the project itself. Right here, you can see that this is kind of a waterfall overview of what is happening, the details on the project, and when things are due. So what it does is it gives you kind of a quick heads up of, hey, I have all these tasks that are on here. I can see the progress of these tasks, whether they're checked off or not. If a task is checked off, it will no longer be on this. And I can say, hey, we're getting close. I can see when my launch date is. And I can get a good feel for where we are in the whole timeline and scope of the project. So it's just a really quick way to get an overview of what's happening where, and just an overview of the project. Now the next thing I want to touch base on is files. Over here on the right hand side, or on the top here, we can go to the Files Index section. You can see within here, we actually have already some files attached to this project. Now that's because any files that are attached to any part of the project, whether it's a message, whether it's a task, or whether it's within a notebook, will all be available through the file section. Gives you a great place to kind of go in and say, hey, I know I attached a PDF a little while ago. I need to go re-access that to make sure it's the right version. You can go in here and access all the files in the same way. So I can say, hey, there's Goldfish 3. I can preview it from here. I can kind of get an overview of it. I can also say, a specific comment on this file. So if something has changed, or if you want to notify us that you're looking at something